Hey, everyone. Welcome to the latest podcast episode. This is your host, Terry Knight, and I have George here. He's got a great background, entrepreneur. Over the last 10 years, he's been active in real estate and finance, participated in multiple, transactions, business acquisitions, partner buyouts. George helps, I don't know, 400 plus businesses secure best funding as well. So, I mean, he's just killing it, man. He's married. He's got kids. Got an 8-year-old daughter. I mean, I think he's doing a lot of different things, and I'm interested to learn his whole background. So thanks, George.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate taking time to dedicate some of your resources and energy to create value of knowledge to young entrepreneurs and experienced business owners.
Yeah,
Thanks
man.
for having me.
Thank you. I mean, if anything, you're a testament, man. You're doing it every single day. You were even on the phone call before we hopped on, so you're always on the grind. I like that. But George, let people know who you are and where you're from.
Yes, I'm George Otel. I'm currently in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, here for almost 15 years. I was born in Eastern Europe in Moldova. It's a small country between Romania and Ukraine. So when people ask me, we have this funny thing is like I speak Romanian. I'm not from Romania. I speak Russian. I'm not from Russia. I've never been to Russia. And where I'm from Moldova. So, but I'm thinking in English. I think in English. I think in English now. It's so many years. I read over 150 books, and my process is in English now. But it's fun. I came here, started a transportation company. I didn't like it. Then it was 2012, 2015. Grew a small fleet of trucks. I didn't like it. Then started flipping homes. With we were buying them from the bank as short sales. I found a guy. He was doing like 40 flips a year from the banks, then selling to the
Jeez.
market, and that was my first mentor. Then he introduced me to another guy that was doing business loans financing, and that's when I started. A year later, I started the U.S. business funding, and yeah, so 2018 started U.S. business funding. We started doing just equipment loans for trucks, trailers, manufacturing companies, working capital. Then we added SBA loans, and for the last 5 years, we're doing commercial real estate as well. So that's kind of the idea, hustling through all those. As my wife says, in financing is never boring because everybody's trying to be the smartest to take advantage, and it's a war. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, sometimes I didn't choose this because it's easy. I choose this because it's competition, and if you're able to take a step back and understand how to do it properly, it's good. So we live some of the most amazing times to mankind because there's a lot of opportunity, but the only problem is too much destruction and people get distracted. So that's why you got to block the noise and focus on your goals, and everything is going to be amazing.
Cool, man. No, I like it, George. You mentioned you've done business funding for commercial real estate. Can you kind of go some breakdowns on what deals you've done and how it helps others?
Yeah. So what's hot right now? I have over 10 deals right now in commercial real estate. So in the company, I have my people. We have a equipment department. We have SBA loans department, and I have commercial real estate. So I'm leading the commercial real estate. Personally, I'm involved in those transactions. So what's hot right now? It's a business owner buying the property, the business property. If you lease a property, it goes to your advantage to buy it than rather rent it. So, for example, one of the recent deals we closed a couple months ago, they were paying $10,000 for the building. They rent for the business. Well, we were able to secure financing with only 10% down payment. So basically, now they own the building and they pay how much? They pay 9,000. So they own the building and they pay less. That's the so you don't need to go and start like multifamily or something. Just buy the building you are, or find a new building, and that's how you create. Then let's say 5 or 10 years later, you want to sell the business, then you just keep the property. So it's when you own the business facility, the commercial real estate. It's those are going lease for 5, 10 years. So you're responsible for the roof and the parking, and everything else is the tenant. So it's much more attractive than just owning some apartments, because apartments, the average lease is 2 years, and then you have a lot of problems. You got to deal with tenants and stuff. With the industrial or those triple net leases, it's you signed the lease and they responsible for all the stuff. So yeah, if any business owners, basically the easiest way to grow, to build up wealth, is like, hey, if you don't own a you own the building. That's kind of the idea. Yeah, we do hotels, motels, multifamily, 100 units, 200 units. It's anything in between. We have access to over 1,000 lending sources. So if there's a need in the market, most likely we have a plug for that. So it's kind
That's
of
pretty
the
cool. It's funny you mentioned the triple net lease because I was talking to Mike and Bo. They own like hundreds of businesses, and then there's this guy Todd in Miami. But they all talk about triple net leases, having the tenants pay for that. But commercial real estate is the way to go, or
yeah,
industrial, light
yeah.
industrial, because you own the building. You just let them take care of all that stuff. What was the big reason why that person that owned the business, like, what was his thinking process saying, hey, I want to own the building? Is it his idea? Did he come to you about it? Like, how did that all
So
start?
the the most common misconcept, I would say, the wrong mindset is like people. I tell people, look, I mean, you gotta have a team of people. You gotta have your lawyer. You gotta have your CPA to give you scenarios, to give you tactics, and you gotta have someone like us. Like we are commercial finance brokers, any type of business funding. We have access to that. I'm part of the American Association of Commercial Finance Brokers. So when clients comes to us, I kind of take the details and understand, and then I send a message in my chat. So there's a lot of lenders, a lot of banks, and they call me. So basically, you want a position to, you don't want to go to your local bank and they're gonna give you one option. You're gonna have multiple options. So you want to understand your situation in the marketplace. And the biggest problem, basically, people go to the local bank and the local bank is gonna say no, because it's a different design. I mean, like you're looking for something that doesn't exist in the local bank. So you gotta have, you know like a finance guy like our company. You don't want to work with us, it's totally fine, you go with the other one. Basically, we guide you through how you can access the funding, because the funding is available. It's just people don't know how to access that. And it's a little bit tricky, but it's possible, and we getting deals done, and we're gonna see like 100% increase in our company this year, because it's hot. It's hot. And look, I mean, if you're paying for the rent for the building, basically for the rent, you're already paying for the mortgage. You're already paying for the mortgage, and you're paying for a landlord's vacation or landlord's pension. So it's, you spoke with someone that owns triple nets, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
own. So the landlords, he is a landlord, and they are happy seeing me talking about tenants buying that, because he at some point he's gonna sell it, right? So he needs somebody that able to back up, to provide the financing. So to, because for any property for sale, when you go to buy it, right, when you say, hey, I want to buy it, I want to buy it, the seller has one thing in his mind: show me the money. You have
yeah.
money, show me the money. So working with us, I get you pre-approved. So 70% of the time that people think they don't qualify, they actually qualify, because they don't know what's the reality and what's going on. They have an opinion based on their experience and knowledge. I do this for over 7 years, and things are changing, but we always on top of the game. And I have multiple options lined up. If the first one doesn't work, we're moving to the next, and so on, until things gonna happen. It's amazing, because you paying less and you're building wealth. Because some point, I mean, you so all the deals that I closed in the last 24 months, nobody can say, hey, George, I hate that about the building. Nobody. Because I mean, it's like, first of all, your business is gonna increase. Second, you are the leader, you are the business owner, and when you buy the building, you're showing that you're serious, you're solid, you're a leader. Your employees gonna love you. They're gonna say, "Oh, I mean, I'm not concerned. I'm not gonna, though I'm gonna get fired or anything because this guy is buying the building and everything." And it's like it's a different vibe, and people likes to be around the great leaders. It's the right thing, and I encourage people to call our company every 6 to 9 months because there's a lot of products going on, or at least to get a feel of the sentiment in the market. So
I do feel like commercial real estate is the way to go. But you mentioned an important thing. You said 70% you're able to help people get qualified when
yep,
they don't think they can be
yep,
qualified.
yep, yep, yep.
What are some of the stuff that's needed though to help get you to that stage? I won't say qualify. I guess qualify is the right word too, but
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah,
what's
yeah.
needed to come to you to say,
To
"Hey,
qualify, yep.
George, man, I'm looking for commercial estate real estate. Like, help me out, dude," or
Yeah.
industrial.
So the whole idea is like we looking at your financials, the whole situation, right? With your experience, your financial situation. So let's say, okay, worst case scenario, you don't qualify. I'm not just shutting the door, say bye next. So I'm saying, okay, you don't qualify today, right? So here we go. I mean, you have a couple months to basically clean your books, make everything in order, and then worst case scenario, after the new year, you're gonna file your taxes properly, and then you're gonna qualify. So that's kind of the I'm giving them, but usually I work with the private lenders. I work with institution, with banks, credit unions. Also, we work with government, with SBA. So imagine we getting deals right now with 100% financing. So basically, if you're paying the rent, as I mentioned earlier, you're paying the rent, right? You're paying the mortgage already. So it's no secret. I mean, it may secret to someone that has. So basically, if you have 12 months of history making rent, you qualify. If you want to buy the building, then the landlord is selling that. I can get you financing, 100% financing. So it's because you're already paying for the mortgage. You just don't know that, or if you don't understand.
Really?
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
that's how. I mean, if you're thinking that you're paying the rent, the mortgage as a business owner, and the landlord is taking $2,000 every month from the pocket, then you're wrong because nobody's taking money from the pocket to pay that because he's taking your mortgage, he's taking your rent, he's paying the mortgage, and he has a nice juicy check for vacation. I tell people, look, if you're shopping around, let's say you want to buy a building, because look, I mean, I tell people, you got to look for 6 to 12 months in advance because it takes time to do that. And I coach them what to look at. And like I call it discovery mode. I give them a lot of information. We have even AI chatbots. They talk with them so they understand. It's like discovery mode because I want them to do a rational decision rather than emotional decision. So real estate, commercial real estate, it's a war, and you want to create a team, you want to build knowledge, so you actually do things rationally than emotionally. So the whole idea is like, if you're looking to buy something, give us a call, we pre-qualify you. So in 10-15 minutes, basically I'll have an idea how much you qualify for, and it's free. So how much you qualify for, and you know what to do. And if you shopping around with not being pre-qualified, not knowing, so let's say you're looking for a building that is $4 million, right? And okay, you want to do it, I want to buy it, I want to buy it, and you go to your bank. And another things to consider, when you go into a bank, you're just a stranger. That's how it is, right? You're just a stranger, and your banker can be in vacation, so you gotta wait another week, and you're gonna wait 30 days, and they're gonna say, oh, you don't qualify. So that's it, you have only one option. You come in with us, I pre-qualify everything, so in 2-3 days I'm already providing you the option, like the term sheet, like, okay, you approved. If you send me that, so okay, now okay, I'm approved for this amount of money. I can go and shop. So one day you wake up. So let's look at two scenario. Person A doesn't do any planning, just want to buy something, and whenever finds, they trying to understand what to do. And the person B is prepared, right? They have the pre-approval, they know how much they qualify for. There's both people, they send an offer to buy the same building, right? So this one sends an LOI, an offer, saying, hey, I want to buy this building. the person B is working with us, the client is pre-approved. So he sends the offer and he sends the pre-approval. He said, hey, I qualified, I have the money. So who you think that the seller is gonna work with? Obviously with the person
You're
who's like,
pre-approved.
a couple deals we were able to fund. So imagine there is five, six clients trying to buy a building, right? So I mean, like
Mhm.
being prepared. And our client, they grab the building because they prepare. Hey, here we go. I got the offer. I got the financing, everything. Here we go. I'm solid. I'm your guy. That's how it works. And then the person A, it goes back on the market 6 to 9 months looking for another property. And then they saying, yeah, this is hard. This is sucks. This is bad. And all the, it's, you gotta be prepared. It's a fight. It's always a fight for stuff. So if you want to get the good stuff, you gotta get prepared. But
Yeah,
definitely, it's
100%.
it's it's a it's a wealth building strategy. One of the clients that we did financing last year, so it was over $4 million building. They
Wait, how
invested
much?
over 4 million. 4 million. So they invested under $1 million as a down payment to get that, and then they got an offer for five over 5 million to buy it. So less than, so I mean, he got like a real offer, like, hey, I'm buying it right now. So the client, he was mad. He was mad because he was renting 7 years before that. So he's like, how many times I missed, how many, not only the equity but all those payments. So you paying rent for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, it's zero, it's nothing, there's nothing to show.
Yeah.
But when you're buying for your build for your business, let's say you're gonna buy, let's say you have a 10 years plan, right? So in 10 years you're gonna build up equity, you're gonna refinance, and because now the rates are high, but you buy it, you want to get the deal off the street. Then 2 years later, I help you refinance, so you get the low rate, and boom, you're in business. Because even though the rates are high, you already paying less than you paying for the rent. Then you're gonna refinance, so the 9,000 is gonna be 7,500 or 7,000. So
Mhm.
it's a big difference.
So is this available nationwide,
Yep,
the US?
nationwide. I mean, if you're paying at least $5,000 in rent, we most likely you qualify to get something. So it's you got to start early to build up the plan, the process. And I mean, a lot of business owners, or if you don't want to buy the facility, you can buy a franchise, any franchise, Dunkin' Donuts, McDonald's, Starbucks, anything is available. And you can buy any franchise with 10% down payment. It's a government loan. I mean, let's say you have $200,000 or 150 grand to you want to start a business. You rather go and buy a franchise because it's already proven system of clientele, and you put the down payment and you buy the whole business like a million plus. And then basically most of the models, like I would say 80+% of the models works that in the first 18 months you take all the money back, all your down payment, and then after that it just, you gotta buy it right, you gotta buy the right thing, you gotta buy it big enough, so you don't want to work in the business, you want to big enough that it generates revenue, so you have a manager in place, so the manager is running the show, you're just controlling, because otherwise you're just gonna have a job. So you want to buy big enough that it's covered the manager's salary and so on. So
Well, what about also, can you mention franchises? I'm kind of in between with that because it's like, yes, it's proven, but you got to pay for royalty fees, marketing fee. There's all these fees. So then it's like, at least the goal for everyone, I think, is buy a business. Maybe it's franchise, maybe it's not. A lot of people want absentee owners where they already have people in place. So they just want the check. So have you had experience with that with any clientele recently with any franchisees that was a
yeah,
good
so the
turnout?
whole idea the whole idea is to buy it right, as I mentioned, to buy it big enough so you have a manager in place. Well, you got to understand the process. You don't need to be in the operations on a daily basis, but you got to understand the process. You got to understand how this works, and to have a manager that's running the show. Sometimes I've seen businesses that have two managers. Two managers running the show, and then they report to you. I had the experience. They have two managers reporting to another manager, to the main manager, and then the main manager reporting to you when the business is a little bit bigger. Then answer to your first question regarding the fees and everything. Look, I mean, every transaction, it's gonna be other people involved. So The bottom line question is how much you're getting. So how much you pay and how much after all the expense, those are investments. After all the expenses, how much you're getting. So if you like that number, then go for it. Because I mean, look, I mean, for commercial real estate, like the broker, let's say for a $4 million building, the commercial broker is gonna get 100 grand. The other guy is gonna get 100 grand. I get almost that. And then you're looking like, oh, hold on, man, it's like $300,000-$400,000 like in fees. Well,
Mhm.
but you wake up one day and you got like $1 million offer, or like, you're gonna pay those money. Hold on, so you concerned about those fees, but you're missing the cash flow, because like there's not such thing as like not to pay. At the end of the day, okay, if you participate with $100,000, right, you want to buy this business, and if you're able to get the money back in 18 months, all the money back, and then every year you're gonna make this money, right? Every other year
Mhm.
you're gonna basically 12 to 15 months you're gonna get this money back. The cash flow, that's your cash flow. Is it worth it? Of course. And sometimes you buy it for, let's say, 150 grand down payment to buy a business for 1.5. Then you grow it, you optimize it properly. Year three, you're not gonna make 150 grand a year. You're gonna make 200 or 250 or 300. So and then you double the cash flow. Then you have an opportunity to sell it. So it's all how it depends. Or also, if the business is looking to sell, I tell everyone you gotta look early. So you gotta look like at least 12 months, probably 24 months in advance. Hire like a consultant. So you're gonna pay
Mhm.
20-25 grand for a consultant to help you clean the book. They're not gonna clean it. They're gonna guide you. They're gonna introduce you how to do that.
Mhm.
So it's so fascinating that basically 7 to 9 months into the deal, I see those clients, they basically increase 20-30% in their revenue just by hiring the consultant. So you hiring the consultant, I mean, those fees is nothing. As I mean, the consultant, one situation, this consultant was able to bring over 300K just in 6 months. So they got paid 25 grand. They were able to bring 300K clean money, clean cash, just optimizing the process. They look in it's simple. They look in what's working, so they do more, and what's not working, they cut it. So basically, the value of the business increases with a couple $1 million, and the cash flow, the bottom line was pretty juicy. So it's look, things are changing. You gotta optimize. You gotta do the right thing, and it's been 5 years since COVID. So how many people say that, hey, I'm just gonna wait until all this thing is gone? So now what? I mean, you've been waiting for 5 years. You're gonna be broke and dead already. It's like you gotta move fast. You gotta do things properly. And right now there's a lot of deals, especially in Florida. There's a lot of deals, distress deals, and you gotta buy when everybody's scared, because it's the right time to buy. It's a discount.
100%, man. I like it. Well, guys, you heard it first here. George, I mean, reach out to him for funding needs. I think he can really help out a lot of people, man. So that's pretty good. George,
Yeah,
what's the best place for people to reach out to you? Because
so
this
the
is
best
such a
place,
good opportunity.
LinkedIn, George Otel, LinkedIn. I post content mostly on a daily basis for financing, strategic planning, negotiation, commercial real estate deals, and how to properly do it, and the stories of our clients. And feel free to shoot me a DM also on our website. It's usbizfunding.net or usbusinessfunding. So yeah, I encourage people to don't feel shy and give us a call, send us a DM, because I deal with a lot of businesses. I have a nice team and we have experience with the multiple scenarios and uh different situation, because I had a couple of businesses myself. I've been doing financing, working with the banks, and I understand how the banks looks at deals. uh you know let's say the initial conversation when the clients come to us, in the 10-15 minutes, I'm able to to understand the business, the whole business, how is it going, what option we have. And in 10-15 minutes, I kind of paint a picture. And a lot of time the business owner, they're like, wow, like I never knew. Because like, yeah, it's like I've been doing this for multiple years, and I run different scenarios for, there's a lot of stuff available, but if you don't ask, nobody's gonna knock on your door to force you to do that. So things are available, things are happening. We help many successful people. It's was like bankruptcies and stuff to get out of them, and there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of options to do stuff. So it's because I work with a lot of lending sources. So they give me access to funding, and number two, they give me access to deals, because sometimes the deal doesn't go right and the lender gotta take it, and then we have access to that. So it's an option to get good deals. Also, regarding the franchises, so what I did it for myself. I was like, as I took enough time to study to understand how business works before I help someone. And I have fuck up couple, I screw up couple, sorry, I screw up couple businesses myself before I understand. Don't uh don't feel afraid to ask, to ask. Because so regarding the franchises, I was looking into multiple franchises. So you just reach out to them, they give you the basically
Mhm,
the whole information. They send you the PDF, and you study. Let's say, okay, let's study seven different franchises, seven business models, franchise models. And then it's just so interesting, because like you find out so much information that you never knew. So every time I drive to the city, like I'm kind of like, oh yeah, that business works like this.
mhm,
So I'm looking not like just the brands, I'm looking at like the operations of the business, how it works and how the things happen, and like what's new and how they optimize the whole thing. So it's interesting, because things are happening, transactions are happening. The question is like, are you gonna be part of those transactions, or you're just gonna say everything is bad? And yeah, but now is a good opportunity. Now is the time to buy. A lot of baby boomers, they gonna retire. And the sad part that their kids, grandkids, they don't want to get involved in business. So that's an opportunity for everybody that considers buying something. And a lot of times they willing to do the seller finance. You can do that. You can do with a, you can do an SB loan, do a lot of creative stuff. So it's much easier to buy an existing business that is running and has systems and people in place than just start something from scratch. So let's say you have 150 grand, right? So you can start your own business, or you can buy an existing business, because nobody's gonna give you $1 million to start your own business, but somebody can give you a lot of play. I know a lot of people that can give you $1 million to buy an existing business.
mhm.
So it makes sense. So
Cool. No, I agree, man. I agree. Guys, you heard it first. George, thank you so much for coming on, man. We'll have the links below. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please reach out to me or to the great George himself. But yeah, guys, this is golden. I think business funding is important, especially in the commercial side of real estate and business. Take advantage, learn from the great George himself. Thank you, George, for coming on, man. Appreciate your time.
yes, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Just before we go, you mentioned business funding is important. So basically, you always need funding. You need funding to start a business, right? You need funding to stay in business. You need funding to grow a business, or you need funding to buy a business. So it's a good approach.
It's needed all across the board. George explained it the best, but yeah.
Yeah, I tell business owners, basically, as you grow, you're gonna move from the operations like slowly. The goal is to move from the operations, daily operations, to being the strategist. Like, so you go more in the finances. You look like, I tell people, you gotta look for the financing when you don't need it, because when you need it, it's hard to get it, or you're not gonna have enough time. So you, as a business owner, you gotta allocate more time into getting those creative financing, good financing. So because when you have money, I mean, you're gonna be able to go through problems, right? When you don't have money, all the business problems, they disappear, and you have only one big wall problem, it's money problem. So you want to avoid that thing. So thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It was interesting.
Appreciate the time, George. Guys, until the next episode, peace out.